forward to it, and I'm just really curious to see, what they're going to be bringing forth. I mean, we've seen Weapon Jewel, we've seen Weapon Sky, Crystal Jewel. I really just used to seeing a Weapon Sky. There's too many robots in this game, okay, guys?
So, Arden ban is actually very smart on their behalf. With this is like, they're pretty much banning Arden first, leaving like a fortress as their first pick, or they're forcing the other team to pick to ban the fortress. So it matches their aggressive play style, and I think it's a really good part in their end.
So if there's no fortress here, could we go just straight into it?
I'm assuming they'll ban Koshka, yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah. Well, she's going to be out. Now, this will leave us out with a Ringa, who was actually a double ban in our last series.
But if I were to be like the first person picking and banning, of course I'd take, and my team was like very aggressive heavy, of course I would take like a fortress. And with Blackhawk, with Blackhawk, they'll try and like migrate something to the later game, and with Rona open, Ringo open, there's so much possibilities that they could do, but Rona is probably like a really good ban on their side. And Catherine, no? Adagio?
And we did talk to a lot of teams about Adagio, Mr. Zekint, yesterday, and definitely a very favored kind of hero.
Most certainly, Adagio, very versatile. You can play as a jungle carry, you can play as a lane carry, you can play as a roamer, and especially with Rona, Rona's attack speed scales so well with the Agent of Wrath. Just drop Agent of Wrath on Rona, and she just smacks people for so much damage over and over and over.
Well, they're going to have to definitely keep an eye on that one. So what would you add to a fortress here with a Koshka out, Rum?
A glaive.
Glaive?
Definitely a glaive.
Laning or jungle?
Jungle.
Okay, so who'd you put in the lane? There's the glaive. Come on, go for 100% here. No pressure.
I'd probably, like, against the Rona, I'd either try and single out somebody with a lot of CP.
Right.
So we can go Vox or CP Ringo, Scarf, Celeste.
Basically all of the mages there.
And anybody that can fit into the lane would work out pretty well.
Does it really
as long
count?
as it's CP.
Do we give him the prediction when he just kind of rattled off every single mage?
99.8%.
99. All right, sure.
It's multiple choice at this point, right?
Yeah, it's multiple choice.
What do you think of the last pick here, Humanist?
I mean, it's pretty open at this point. They need to round it out with. I'm not the analyst here. I'm the play-by-play guy.
Just say Catherine.
We can go with Catherine. The thing is that Adagio is just so flexible as a hero that they can take it in many different ways, right?
Good point.
Right, and I personally would like to see like a Scarf come out or something. Just throw Poke down at Angry Pandas, prevent them from engaging, and as long as they can keep that range, they should actually play this out very, very well.
Yeah, I could see that being a very strong composition, but
okay.
it is the Catherine.
Should have said Catherine.
What are you going to do?
Deacon, 0% success rate.
That's why we always turn to our good buddy Rome here. So these comps are out now. Angry Pandas, as you said, a little bit probably more aggressive. The Glaive, the Fortress, you called it out pretty much exactly. We'll give you half a point there for the Ringo. But Blackhawk, what do they got to do?
They can actually play smart in this one. Like, it matches their play style really well. So being able to rotate early and then just saving their jungle from being invaded, they want to be able to scale up really well where Adagio is able to poke in lane, load up on a bunch of CP items, and buff that Rona.
Okay, so Bacon, you called so far a lot of victors. Who do you got for this one?
I like Blackhawk for the series, but I think in this game, Angry Pandas, I like their composition a lot better.
All right, guys. We did just see the roster there. Lele, as we said, big team manager kind of guy. Blackhawk, of course, they are not to be taken lightly. And now, as we get into the fold, Zekin and Humanist, what do we got?
All right, we got Angry Pandas up against Blackhawk, and right now we see Leia and Zhuan just picking up defensive items as their first picks, which is, I think, very, very intelligent because Cold Ice is going to be able to do so much damage against Zhuan. But this is actually a smart mix-up from the side of Blackhawk. Angry Pandas expected Sosiska to go to lane and expected Cold Ice to go to the jungle, so right now they have the wrong defensive items. So this could actually work out a little bit in the favor of Blackhawk.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I actually predicted the same thing that Angry Pandas did. So yeah, a nice switch up there, and Blackhawk just showing a bit of strat right off the bat.
Most certainly, Zhuan and Xingyi with Leia rotating down to the jungle shop. They're all level 1 right now, but just picking up those early buys is going to be pretty good. So right now you see Leia picking up those boots. I don't really think Cold Ice is going to be able to do too much to him at this point. However, might be running into a little bit of trouble in lane.
Yeah, face first right into 3 men, and that's a scary position to be in. Xingyi's there coming into lane with Shin Shin, and just to let him know, hey man, don't dive too hard on Leia at this point. And Leia, these guys, like you saw the personality of them on stage, but they're really fun guys. When they talk, they said that they really like to be innovative and kind of take risks in games.
Most certainly. They like to play extremely aggressively. So, and if it's their team composition right now, Glaive, Fortress, Ringo, if they get the chance to see, if they see you out of position, you will go down very quickly.
Right. You know, Achilles shot to slow, afterburn, knock you out of position, plus Fortress there. It could be a scary position. But across the board, I mean, if this game gets going and Blackhawk get the items and levels that they need, it could be very scary.
This is actually a little bit interesting. Juan actually went for a double light armor, even though he's up against the Adagio in the jungle. Adagio and Catherine both relying fairly heavily on those basic attacks. However, Leia still sitting on that light shield, still sitting on those boots, is going to be able to do fairly well in this lane against Cold Ice. Cold Ice, if he ever jumps in, he's going to have a lot. He's going to take a lot of damage on his way out.
Pretty good engagement here. It was a 2v2, but the move from Cold Ice from lane down. Now Shen taking a lot of damage. He'll afterburn forward to get out of, or get himself into a better position, rather. And there's going to be no blood spilled. So a little bit scary, but Angry Pandas, they do get out of that one.
So that was actually a very smart play by Xuan. Instead of just immediately using his afterburn to get out, he was holding on to it for a very, very good reason. He saw that the lane was shoving towards the side of Blackhawk, and he just completely denied a good number of minions to Cold Ice on that Rona.
Yeah, that was a really nice play, and you know, these guys are really talented players, so the patience maybe not something everyone's used to seeing in their pub and rank matches, but these guys have it.
Most certainly. Right now, Xuan picking up a weapon blade, picking up a swift shooter, able to do a little bit of damage early on. He might be going for that tension, but he might be going for that sorrow blade. A couple of options open to that glaive, and it really depends on what he wants to do this game.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see how this plays out. Xuan, you know, he was the guy that was saying he really likes to innovate with his builds and the way he plays games. He doesn't like it to get boring or stale at any point. So this is the guy that's going to be looking to make plays. Shinshin finding Bastion here. There is a scout trap. Actually not going to trigger that off. But just poking at each other and just kind of getting a little intel here in the jungle at this point. Stun coming out from Bastion onto Shinshin, but no one there to follow up. Adagio will be there to do a little bit of poke. But no one committing to these fights.
Oh, Leia caught the position pretty hard. Right now, he's probably going to go down. Cold Ice does not get the kill, but Sosiska takes the
first blood, and Shingy also taking a lot of damage. That was just very scary for Leia. I'm not quite sure what the plan was there, but he does go down as first blood, and it gets Blackhawk on the board, so that was a pretty nice play.
Right, that was fantastic coming out from the side of Blackhawk. Right there, even though Angry Pandas does have the early game composition, Blackhawk taking the first early advantage.
Yeah, well, these guys, you know, if you have an early game advantage, one of the worst things that you can do is to just give it away, to be out of position, to let them get that kill that they shouldn't be having. As they say, the Shingy is engaged onto, into the fray, over the wall. Shingy's down, and now Leia's on the run. But the three of Blackhawk will not be deterred. They keep poking. They'll kind of move back as a group, but they get that kill, and they got to be happy about that.
And once again, though, not too bad for Angry Pandas. Xuan able to push the lane, denied another wave to the side of Blackhawk. And now he's able to steal away the back two camps of Blackhawk. This is actually a pretty decent trade for the side of Angry Pandas.
Yeah, that was, you know, as you mentioned, that was a very nice rotation, and that's something that I'm going to have to keep my eye on in this game is, you know, you can get this kill, but if it's not on the target that you need, and you got the glaive moving deep into your jungle, like you said, he got lane, and then he gets into the jungle, takes their back camp. That was just a nice play.
Most certainly. Cold Ice looks like he is going for that early Sorrow Blade, has a heavy steal already with the Weapon Blade, so we can expect him to do a pretty good chunk of damage early on. 36 CS to his name. Leia is only sitting at 24, so even though Angry Pandas has been doing some fairly nice rotations, they are still having a rough time this game.
Oh, Leia is engaged into the fray. Bastion's up front, and he goes down. It was 3-0 for Blackhawk at 5 minutes. I mean, they've taken a very quick control of this game.
I'm wondering, it might be a good idea at this point to send Leia into the jungle with Shingy. Xuan right now is level 6. He's doing pretty well on that glaive, and he's going to be at much less of a risk in lane up against that Rona. Right now, every single time Leia gets jumped on, he just completely melts.
Right, so it's either Leia's going to have to play more defensively or, like you said, move Glaive up into the lane. Currently, Glaive is there. We'll see maybe if they choose to do this. I think that's a good idea that you have brought up. And at this point, it's still just Ringo hanging out. They're not ready to make that change quite yet.
Yeah, and right now you can see Angry Pandas is definitely more fearful of the Rona than they are of Adagio. Adagio does a pretty good amount of damage, but Rona just pumps it out so much faster. They have 3 light armors on their side. And right now, Leia is actually going for a very interesting build. I think he's going for the Aftershock.
Oh, the Angry Pandas have locked onto Cold. That's a nice afterburn knockback by Xuan. That was impressive to say the least. And whenever you have a really nice, talented glaive player, he can always get these things done.
Most certainly, and Juan right now taking a lot of damage from Dodger right now. So Siska doing as much as he can. Shingy taking a few chunks to the face, but they'll be able to get out just fine. Took that turret down pretty low. It's almost under half.
It's pretty funny talking to Schwinschwin, the glaive player here. Their name's Angry Pandas, but I want to call them Happy Pandas every time I talk to these guys.
For sure, for sure. Leia going for the aftershock. Xuan does have his tension bow, and that is so incredibly important for an early game aggressive team. Having the extra burst early on in these fights will completely negate any power that Sosiska and Cold Ice can really do.
All right. Well, let's see. Maybe they want to have another engagement. They're moving 3 up into the lane. The afterburn. They're going to knock Cold Ice back again. Are they going to get him? Rona is jumping out of the fray on this one. And the movement from his teammates are there. Hellfire Brew from downtown will connect. But that's not quite enough damage to be sealing the deal for any kills here. But with Blackhawk's teammates in lane, this is going to just go ahead and peter out as a fight.
So that is very well played by Cold Ice. Cold Ice held his into the fray, or out of the fray as it may be, until after Glaive used the afterburn. There was a chance that Cold Ice would start his into the fray and get knocked out of the air by the afterburn and just be in completely out of position. But holding on to that keeps himself alive.
Right, so just like the patience we saw earlier out of the Glaive, we see the patience coming out of Rona. And these guys, you know, you can get flustered if you're not quite sure, and these are scary positions. But as long as you hold on to these spells that you need, you'll be able to reposition yourself and get out. Schwen taking a bit of damage as the turret does go down here. He's going to be cleaned up, so now 4-1 in favor of Blackhawk at 8 minutes into this game.
Right, and this is actually a very low CS game in general. Neither team really focusing on farming, but rather just rotating around, getting kills here and there, and just picking fights. Shingy right now, level 5 on that fortress, level 6 now, and so is Bastion, so we can definitely see these ults come out in these fights.
All right, well now these teams starting to get all of their spells online, and we can see the true potential of these team fights and compositions start to unfold.
All right, Leia picks up the Aftershock. This is actually a pretty important part of his build. So Aftershock able to chunk down Rona, able to chunk down Daijo. I honestly don't think it's the greatest pickup right now because Cold Ice isn't really going for health. And I think that is their priority target. They are trying to take down either Cold Ice or Siska first, because either when they take down, it just dramatically reduces the damage output of Blackhawk.
Yeah, and this Crystal Power Ringo, this is the type of build where you see those big Hellfire Brews come out and just chunk people down through the mid into late game. We'll see how that's going to play out. Looks like maybe an engagement here in mid lane. Maybe they're just kind of filling it out. No one really wanting to commit. Bastion is up front for Blackhawk. Shingy's up front for the Angry Panda. Shingy is, oh, now Shinjen's there, the afterburn. They've locked onto Sosika. Sosika moving backwards. Rona chunking a bunch of damage out of the Angry Pandas, and Shingy will be forced out towards the east, quite low. And now Glaive is isolated alone. And will he be able to get out of this? I don't think it's going to happen. He thinks maybe he'll, nah, he goes down. He tries to take a minion camp there for his trouble.
That's a little bit over-aggressive from the side of Angry Pandas, though they do have to take fights because Sosiska, if they let Blackhawk just back off for a bit, they'll just heal up with the Adagio heals, and it's going to be really rough for Angry Pandas to do any serious damage without going for hard engages. They need to use Xuan to catch people out of position with the afterburn, and if they don't, it's going to be a tough game for them.
Right, so basically what you're saying is any extended fights are going to kind of tend to go in the favor of Blackhawk.
Most certainly. It's really up to Sosiska. Can he get the sustain out? Can he make sure he stays alive in fights? He is taking a lot of damage at this turret, but right now, Angry Pandas just clearing the wave. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, no one's going to go down there. They do a bit of poking, and it looks like Blackhawk will just retreat back into their own jungle. They move down towards the shop. Looks like these guys are going to pick up some items here and look to maybe make an engagement after that. You see Angry Pandas, they know that this is where the movement's happening, so they do a bit of scouting of their own. They don't find them, and this means these guys will just go back to their general rotations.
Most certainly. And that previous scuffle, Blackhawk did get the gold mine, so another 900 gold going over to them. They are picking up a decent gold lead. They're at 2.4 thousand gold above the Angry Pandas. However, Angry Pandas, Shingy did pick up an Atlas Pauldron, which is a fantastic buy for her right now against Cold Ice and Sosiska.
Oh, dangerous position as the Angry Pandas trying to get the gold mine. They will go ahead and do that, but will they lose anyone off the back of it? Leia is isolated to the west. Everyone else moving towards the north. Cold Ice is there looking to pump some damage out. Bastion's there. The stun goes out. Or are they going to get this fortress? Careful under the tower. Xuanjuan taking a lot of damage and will go down. Rona 2 kills, and are you kidding me? These guys, what aggression.
Yeah.
Full ace under turret. That's just devastating.
Yeah, Blackhawk right there, a little bit caught out of position. They did let Angry Pandas get the gold mine. However, they just immediately turned it around, took the next team fight, got the ace, took down 2 turrets with this push.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough because you know that Blackhawk got the gold mine early. You know that you're in the hole when it comes to resources on the map. So you feel like we got to get control of this at some point. They thought they had the opening, but like you said, they get it and then they just get turned around on and feed the kills off of it. So it's just maybe not worth it.
Most certainly. Blackhawk taking the enemy minion mine, making sure they can push, just constantly keeping Angry Pandas in their base, especially because Angry Pandas actually went with builds that are just not good at wave clearing. They have the Aftershock on Ringo, they have the Tension Bow on Glaive. Their damage comes in bursts, but against minions, it's going to be a little bit tough for them to take down.
Oh, this could be a dangerous position as the 3 members of Blackhawk were grouped under that bush there. No strike happened as maybe Shingy with some spider senses moves back before that happens. And these guys, man, they are going to have to be careful through this mid-game. Looks like the gold mine does go back the way of Blackhawk, and tiny gold payout collected for them. Well, engagement into mid lane. Shingy eating the brunt of that. Verse is going to come out. Shingy, a lot of damage. Rona, 2 kills, maybe looking for 3. Leia's on the run. I don't know if he's going to get away from this one. And he's not. It's the full ace going the way of Blackhawk, and quite an impressive turn of events there.
Most certainly. Blackhawk just completely beating down Angry Pandas right now. Angry Pandas, they just do not have enough sustained damage to deal with the team composition of Blackhawk. The Adagio just healing up so much damage that Angry Pandas is trying to do. And right now, look at that fight. Angry Pandas basically did nothing to them.
It's, I mean, it's just actually, it's pretty scary at this point in the game for Angry Pandas. You see an 8K gold lead going the way of Team Blackhawk. You know, it's 1-11, 13 minutes into this game. I don't know, Ken, what do you see if you're an Angry Panda, if you're into this game right now, what are you telling your teammates? What do they have to do?
Right now, they have to get picks. They have to make sure they can catch one person out of position. But right now, Blackhawk is just sticking together as a group. They're sticking together as a unit, and it's very hard to catch anyone off guard. So you see the Metal Jacket comes out in Rona. She is basically going to be impossible to kill at this point. She has the Serpent Smash, she has the Sorrow Blade, she has a Metal Jacket, and right now, looking at the damage on the side of Angry Pandas, there's an Aftershock that'll deal with that. Xuanjuan is going to do nothing to Cold Ice at this point.
Yeah, and Xuanjuan's going to have to be able to pump out damage somehow in these fights. Like you said, they're quite bursty. Rona probably going to be able to live through this, and especially if Catherine's there just to stun them off. Like if they get engaged on, you know, they're going to have to get that kill. If they don't get the kill, they can just turn it around. Adagio heals them up, they're ready to go back in.
Yep, most certainly. The big thing about this game is in 30 seconds, the Kraken spawns. Blackhawk has an overwhelming advantage at this point. If they can take the Kraken and just push with it, I don't know if Angry Pandas will be able to stop it. They just do not have enough sustained DPS to really take down anything at this point.
Yeah, well, this is a scary team. It's looking very dire for the Angry Pandas. Like you said, Kraken will be coming out quite shortly. Blackhawk even over here taking the minion camps right now, and I don't know. It just feels like they're completely isolated in their base, and it's going to be so hard to move out at any point.
All right, so we do see the 15-minute mark has hit, and everyone just picks up infusions. Infusion after infusion after infusion. So Siska, double infusion. Cold Ice, weapon infusion. And even Bastion taking a crystal infusion for himself. And right now, Shingy caught out of position.
Yeah, Saucika actually frontlining for the team. The verse will come out. A lot of damage. Xuanjuan and Shingy, oh no, not Shingy. Leia going down, and Shingy the last one. Shingy will fall as well. There's the ace for Blackhawk. 14 kills to the 1 of Angry Panda, and it looks like Cold Ice is going to go ahead and start this Kraken as his teammates move down the lane.
Most certainly, and right now things are just looking grim for Angry Pandas. Cold Ice soloing the Kraken, and we got Siska and Bastion just shoving into the base. These turrets, if they don't fall to this push, they're going to fall to the Kraken.
Well, no mercy out of Blackhawk, and why should they show any? This is the tournament where you want to come in and you want to just start punishing teams. Let them know, hey, we're here to play. We're here to win this tournament. And Blackhawk are just showing they're very impressive.
Most certainly. And right now, the Angry Pandas, this is their last bit of life. Can they kill this Kraken? Can they take it down? Or will they just fall to this next push?
Well, I guess either they become legends or they just kind of do what you expect at this point.
I think Legends might be stretching it a bit. They might be okay. Oh, Leia.
Well, that's going to be a legendary fight if they're going to win it. Leia is engaged on. Leia will go down. Sasiska taking a lot of damage. Maybe he'll go down. Oh, it's not going to happen. Chen Chen's down. The glaive. Shingy will be the last to fall.
Geez.
Another ace for these guys. And with that said, they will go ahead and close game 1 out.
Right, but it's not too bad. Angry Pandas, they still look pretty happy. They were laughing at the end of that. They were like, okay, we know we lost this game, but what are we going to do for the next one? They are ready. Their spirits are not down. And I want to see how they fight back the next game.
Right. Well, it's very important after a game like this that you